Hello, everyone. I hope you got a notification already. Sunday Adelaja here from Kiev, Ukraine. There's a country like that in the world. Shegun Fatuma, welcome. Akinyemi Adebayo, hi. Peter Jonah, how are you doing today? Shama Nadikwe, hello. Esther Kuganja, Peace Iyamu, Rochelle White, Mayowa, good evening. Ola Martin, Alewu Okwa, Bidemi Razak, Flair Karim Matip, Okala Larry, evening. Gloria Amaka, blessings, good evening. Ayodele Oguntoyinbo, blessings. She Sandra, Stephen McCoy, blessings. Alim Paradise. Puska mnezela ugareshe, tolka po slash, shempila. Jimmy, Jane Agbontine, Joyce Ero, Ezekiah Olujobi, Adeneka Mayowa, Yomi Jegede, Adeleke Adeni, Moses Bright, Victoria Kwitovskaya. Oh, Victoria Kwitovskaya. Okay. Adedamola Moronkeji, Neki Okoro, Mojisola Alonge Babatunde, Ufoma Anigoro, Charles Smith, Ben Apute, Bimbo Uye, Nikki Christian, Thompson Abigail, Shioma, Ayodele Oguntoyinbo said morning anointings, more anointing, I guess. Omotoye Gaspar, Prince Madu, Obi is here. Buenos Aires, Padre. Thank you. Wow. Kike Boronkeji is here. Emmanuel Okoje is here. Wow, welcome everyone. Thank you so much. Well, it's about time for us all to go and share the link. Deborah Lunes, welcome. John Ducoro, blessings. Well, let's go and share the link. Please go look for your share button in the Facebook page. In your timeline, look for your share button. And let's go and share the link. Let's go share the message. Lanon Adebayo, welcome. Let's go share the link. Let's go share the message. Then we could begin from there. You know what? I've been having ripple effects, John Appiah. I hope some of you were there last night. I've been having ripple effects from all kinds of different ripple effect from my last night message. Does money really belong to? Should tithe is tithe only meant for the church? And why so many people have been writing me with their gratitude, so grateful and so happy. Some people also have been writing me not very happy, not very happy for the fact that they think I am going to deprive the church or people of getting paid, and that so how do I expect people to be paid, and how do I expect people to take care of their families, of their children, to school, and how do I expect them to pay for the building and for the rent and for the property and all those things. So some challenges, in fact, but the biggest ripple effect is the fact that they broke into my Facebook today and hacked my Facebook. Yeah, my Facebook was hacked today. So it crashed. It was hacked into. Somebody was doing that from somewhere. Somebody was very unhappy. I think the person couldn't touch me physically because they were probably not in Ukraine. Maybe they were somewhere outside. They were thinking of how to silence me or how to hurt me. And that was the that was the only way they could get back at me. So thank God. God help us. We got in touch with Facebook and were able to revive and get the Facebook back on. So that's why I'm able to appear to you today. So otherwise it was down for some time because people were hacking into it. So anyway, well, we are continuing. We are continuing what we need to do. We need to do what we need to do. And but there is another comment that I got. Elizabeth Ali said it was an awesome message. Great liberation. Thank you. I got a very touching letter from a woman today. She's from America. I think maybe I could even try to find it. I think she's a Nigerian living in America. I will not mention her name, but she seems to be very blessed. And let me read that letter to you. Okay, she said, "Thank you, Pastor, for that message. Is tithe only meant for the church? Today, the 10th of August, I called out the sick. I called out the sick, I think from somewhere. She will minister to the sick, I guess. I believe in tithing and I've been paying my tithe. After listening to this message this morning, she listened to it just this morning, right? In their time. After listening to the message, she realized that, she said, I realized that I've sinned or I've been sinning because I was always blocking my friends, family, contacts and relatives and relationships and other friends, blocking them away from me, chasing them away from me, isolating myself from them. All the people I knew, because I knew that they were asking for money, they were going to ask for money. So I was running away from friends, running away from family members who I know needed something from me because I thought that they were bothering me. But when I listened to the message, I shed tears and I started unblocking them. But now today I called out two of them. I think those are the people she was talking about. She called out the sick. And she knew that they were sick. So she went and called them and then gave a tithe, a month's tithe, divided to those people who were sick. And to take care of their bills, to help them resolve their problem. Before, she was only giving that kind of money to the church. But now, these people who are dying could get rescued. They could be rescued and they could be helped because they don't need to die anymore. Because a Christian became a Christian at last. So she said she was crying. So now she said this month's salary, tithe, is for those needy, sick people. They will not need to die anymore. The poor, the widows, the strangers will now begin to take the first place in my life and in my tithe. They will come first from today. And when I find a need, I will first of all meet that need with my tithe before I consider taking it to the church. She's so practical. That is so efficient. Can we find people? All of us have people who are dying across us and around us as well, and we are not responding. And we are not responding to them. We are not even paying attention because we are thinking that we have an excuse. Since we are giving the tithe to the church, we think God, church, that we have done our duty. But that is actually making us to be more wicked. That is making us to be more close-hearted. That is making us to be more callous. That is making us to be more indifferent. Because we think we have given God his due anyway, and it doesn't. What else does he demand from us? That he doesn't have the right to demand anything from us anymore. But really, God calls the acts of kindness the greater matters of the law. So God actually weighs the acts of kindness higher than the weighs tithes taken to the church. But the tithe should be used to do the acts of kindness. And another girl wrote me and said that she published this video to her page. And then somebody wrote on her page and said, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. But this Pastor Sunday, because he tells the truth, I follow him. I like him. Doesn't believe in God, but he follows Pastor Sunday. Soon he will become a believer. He will not even know how it happens. And I was talking to another person also who told me that yes, that she was actually becoming very indifferent to people and even to God, saying that, okay, the only thing I need to do is just to give my tithe. Because of that tithe, once I give my tithe, that she was actually dead. She was just doing, I'm doing my duty, I've given my duty, so don't touch me, anyone. So something like that. And she had thereby closed her heart against God and against man. So thank God that God could set people free, thanks to that message. In 24 hours, we have gotten over 10,000, over 11,000, almost 12,000 views from yesterday's night's message. So anyway, right now, the message of today is different. I started this morning a new series about how to discover yourself, how to find yourself, how to discover who you are. And I just published the book. So if you are in Africa, you can get my books now on Okada something, I don't know. But we have the link right there here on the platform now and on my Facebook. And if you are in America, you are in the West, on Amazon, this new book, Who Am I? And Who Am I? How to Discover Who You Are, is also on Amazon. So you can go after, you can get this new book. But I'm giving you some of the gist from the book. And I gave one message in the morning, and I'm going to continue. So the topic of today is whatever motivates you more than money is your calling. Whatever motivates you more than money is your calling. Whatever motivates you more than money is your calling. So many people always call me and write to me. They want to find out how to discover their calling. People want to know, how do they discover their calling? And what should they do to discover their calling? I'm going to give you a lot. This is going to be another long series that I'm going to be doing for you. How to discover your calling. Well, today you got the gist from that title. Whatsoever motivates you more than money is your calling. You see, money is a great motivation. Money is a great motivation in this world. I mean, almost everything we do for money. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. Actually, money, the idea of money is not supposed to be the primary motivation for man. Remember that. Money is not supposed to be the main or primary motivation for any man or for any endeavor for that matter. We have been deceived to think that money should be the greatest motivation. But money shouldn't be the greatest motivation. The greatest motivation for any endeavor should be the passion and the love for that thing that comes from your heart, from within your heart. Because your calling and your destiny is in you, is buried in you, is buried in your heart. So your motivation should be coming out of your natural passion, your natural inclination, and the passion that is coming out of the depth of your being. So it is that love, that desire for the exercise or for whatever thing you love to do, that is the biggest motivation. And what money is supposed to do is to just compensate you for doing what you love. So money is a compensation. Money is supposed to simply be a reward, a compensation for giving or rendering a service or for producing a product. But money should not be the reason for producing the product. Money should not be the reason or the motivation for rendering the service. You should render the service because of your heart desire, because of the call of your heart, because of the love that you have in your heart, and because of the need for fulfillment. You say, so calling is connected with the need for fulfillment, the crave for realization. So the desire to be fulfilled, to realize yourself, is what should be driving you. It's not money. We should not be driven by money. Once you started being driven by money, then your purpose is polluted, and your purpose might be perverted as well, and your intentions will be perverted. So money should not be the motivation. Money should only be a compensation and a reward. I will actually say not a reward, but compensation. Because you get greater reward when you fulfill calling than you get from money. Yeah, money, of course, so it's a form of reward, but that is not the ultimate reward. The ultimate reward is the satisfaction. The ultimate reward is the joy, is the fulfillment that you get. I'm sitting outside, so drinking some tea, getting myself in shape, So, so whatever motivates, so for you to find out what your calling is, look inside yourself to find out whatever it is that motivates you more than money does. The question I have for you is, what makes you to do what you are doing right now? Is it this desire to get money? Well, people don't like to confess that, but is it the desire to take care of your family? Are you doing what you are doing right now because you want to take care of your family? Is that your primary motivation? Are you doing what you are doing right now because you need to put bread and food on the table? If that is your primary motivation for doing what you are doing, I'm sorry to say that you've lost your road. You've lost your way. You've missed it. You've missed it in life. Real satisfaction comes in life when you are doing what your heart so much desires to do. When you are doing what satisfies the deepest hunger and the deepest yearning of your soul. And when you get to that thing, it will definitely be more enticing to you than money. It will be more enticing to you than money. So that's why this topic is so crucial today. If you are following after your heart and after your passion, it will give you more satisfaction. You will derive more satisfaction from that exercise, from that thing you are pursuing, just by pursuing it, even if nobody is paying you for it. Even if you are not getting any money out of it, you are so fulfilled and satisfied. You are so fulfilled and satisfied. So the first question I have for you is, whatever you are doing right now, are you really doing it because it is the yearning of your heart? Or you are doing it because you needed to support yourself and make a living? Next question. If you didn't need to make money, let's say money is not an issue, all right? Money is not on the table. If money is not an issue and you don't need to make money, what would you rather do? What would you rather do if if the question of money were not to come up? What would you rather do? That thing that you would rather do with joy, with satisfaction, with enthusiasm, with zeal, and do with gusto is your calling. So what would you rather do if, let's say, you have all the money you wanted? Let's say you have all the money you wanted. You have all the money you wanted. And money were not an issue. What would you rather do? Now you can understand why I want to go to Nigeria. I would rather change the nation. And I would rather change the church. And like what I'm doing right now, somebody wrote me the other day and said, I can't believe that you are giving us all these teachings for free. I can't believe the quality of the teachings and that you are giving all this out for free. And you are doing it 2 times a day. I mean that even some of them were getting tired just listening. Talk less of me, who is doing it, who is preparing it and coming to you with all these topics. So what would you rather do? I don't care if you give me offering or nobody gives me offering for this. No, but I don't get tithe and offering from anybody. This is not. I don't. It's because it's what I would rather do if nobody pays me for it. If money were not an issue, so that's what you should look in your soul. So for you to discover what God has created you to do, look inside yourself and ask yourself that question. What would I rather do if money were not an issue? If I didn't need any money and if nobody needed to pay me for it? If money were not an issue, what would I be doing right now? What would make me really happy if I didn't need to provide money for my family, or food for my family, or put bread on the table? Again, I want to say that the motivating factor for your activity, let me tell you something about labor. Let me tell you something about labor, about work. Oh, Flair Karin Matip says she saw me drinking tea and she got so desirous. She got so jealous. She said, I want to drink tea just like you. I want to be sipping it just like you are sipping your tea right there. Anything I do it with so much joy and satisfaction that everybody wants to do the same thing. I'm that kind of guy. Some people even tell me that when I laugh, that they feel like laughing as well. Anything I do, some people want to do, they want to do something similar. So when I'm drinking my tea, I'm sipping it in with so much satisfaction and with so much delight that everybody else wants this glass of tea right there. Everybody else wants a cup of tea. Everybody else wants a cup of tea. Okay. Okay. That's good. All right. So the purpose of work is for fulfillment. Work is not for survival. Work is not designed for survival. And work is not designed for salary. Work is not designed for salary, and work is not designed for survival. So what is work designed for? Work is designed for fulfillment of purpose. So the reason why you actually supposed to be working is because you want to carry. Okay, let me explain to you the way it happens. There are two major functions of work. The first thing that you need to know about work, what work does, is that when you work, you unearth the treasure that is hidden in you. You discover the treasure that is hidden in you. Like, for example, Thomas Edison, through hard work, discovered electricity that was buried in him. The person that discovered medicine, through hard work, discovered the medicine that is in him. The person that discovered computer, through hard work, discovered the computer that is buried in him. So there are treasures buried in us. There are things in every one of us that will not be unearthed, that will not be discovered, that will not be opened up, that will not be revealed unless through work. So the purpose of work is to discover all the riches. Just like, let me tell you in a different way. Just like the soil has gold, it has diamond, it has precious stones, and it has mineral resources, and it has oil, gas, all those things that come in, they are buried in the womb of any soil, of the soil. So the earth is pregnant with wealth and riches. So it takes work to unearthing those wealth and riches. That is another purpose of money, of work and labor. So work on one hand is to, just like it's unearthing the riches, the oil, the diamond, the gold, the silver, or all the precious wealth that's under the earth, just work on unearthing them. The same thing, similar wealth and riches are in you as a human being, as an individual. And it is also work that unearths those wealth that are hidden in you. So it's a double-edged kind of sword. It's a double-edged kind of potential of work. So work expresses, it gives room for the expression of the things that are invisible. Just like you look at man now, just like you look at the soil or whatever the country you are living in, you look just around you don't see anything precious in the first instance. But when people begin to work on it, precious things begin to come up, industries begin to come up, houses begin to come up, wealth are hidden in any earth. So also in us, we are like earth as well, because we are made from the earth. So we also, in us is buried, or a lot of different precious things, precious stones, precious gifts, precious materials, precious wealth, precious resources. All those things are hidden in us. And that is why work is beautiful. That's why work is beautiful. That's why work, therefore, is one of the greatest things God has given to man. It's one of the greatest discoveries. It's one of the greatest inventions of God to man. Work is one of the greatest gifts that God has come up for man. Why? Because through it, I can unearth everything that has been hidden in me. For example, in my case, when I was in Nigeria as a little boy, as a young man, I never knew this principle. I never knew that work unearths the wealth and the riches and the potentials and the greatness that are in me. Greatness is hidden in everybody, but it's work that releases it. Hard work. But it's not just work somewhere or anywhere. Work, with any kind of work, will release and do something. But not just any work. But when you are working in your land of promise, when you are working in the area of your passion, when you are working in the area of your desire, of your fulfillment, of your zeal, of your calling, of your purpose, it's like you say, what is the difference? Maybe work is work. Yes, let me tell you something. Let's take for example the earth, the land, soil, land. In any given country, there are some, you need to do archaeological research. Archaeological, is it research you call them? Yeah, yes, what do we call it? Expedition. Archaeological expedition. Now, this archaeological expedition, what do they give you? The archaeological expedition, they let you know in what part of your land you have precious, you have raw materials, you have riches, you have wealth, you have mineral resources. So that is what archaeological expedition does to you. It helps you to know that, okay, let's say this territory here is your country. But it will tell you that to the left, to the north side of the left hand side, to the north part of it, that is where the oil is, or that's where the diamonds are. So if you know it, you will know exactly what place to go and work on. But if another person is only passionate about work and say work is work, now what's the difference? I possess work, I can work. Okay, I'm working hard. So the person is now working on the left side of the southern part of the country, where there is nothing at all. The archaeological research has shown that there is nothing there, and you don't even know that the reason for archaeological research. And you say, "What? I don't need any archaeological research. I can work. I'm a good worker. I will work more than anybody. I will just go and work. That's it." So you are going to work on an empty and barren ground that doesn't have any resources, that doesn't have any natural resources, any material resources, doesn't have any riches, that is not pregnant. So that is exactly the difference. You can work there for 70 years, for 60 years, all your life till Jesus comes. You will never discover anything. But the person who is working in the particular place where there is reserve, where there are riches, that person will do the same amount of work like you, and he will be getting things for himself. He will be unearthing wealth and riches, and you will just be you will be unearthing only sweat. The only thing you will be discovering is sweat, and then losing weight. That's the only thing you will be discovering. You will be discovering hunger. So that's exactly how it happens with people who say, oh, why do I need to discover my calling? I just need to get a job. So the difference between you walking on the ground, that is, the archaeological research has already proven that is with material, with raw material, as against the place where they have proven that there is nothing inside. The difference between the two, it's the same kind of work, but somebody is working on a proven reserve and somebody is working on the dead, barren ground. The difference between the two is what it means for a man as well. So you too, as a man, could say, oh, I want to work. I mean, the most important thing is just to work. I know how to work. But you, if you are not working according to the line of your passion, if you are not working in the area of your calling, if you are not working in the area of your giftings, if you are not working in the area of your purpose, if you are not working in the area of your natural inclination and instinct, then you will discover that you have just been working hard, and you will not come to fulfillment. You will not come to to elevation. You will not get all the resources and all the wealth that you could have gotten, because you are just working in this field of on a barren field, or you are just working in a foreign field, or a field of that is not needed, a useless field. So of course you will be having something enough, because any kind of work will give you something. So you are having enough to survive. You are having enough to keep on coming back. You are having enough to keep on feeding your family and send them to school, but you are hardly surviving. It is in that situation that you become a slave of money, and that is what we call the Uncle Sam system. So you are working for Uncle Sam, and then you become a servant of the system. So you keep on working in a way that you give all your best, but it's never enough, and it's not only enough for you to meet the needs that are surrounding you, and then the needs get bigger, and then you need to work harder. You become a slave for the rest of your life, just serving the god of mammon. That is what happens when work for you is a means of survival. When work for you is for salary. When work for you is to make a living. That is a terrible lifestyle. That is a torturous lifestyle. That is a horrible Satan designed lifestyle. This is the design of Satan for everybody, that we will just be working, going to work and be busy every day, and not really get to a place where we will say, okay, this is my calling. I am pursuing my calling every day. What our life is supposed to be is supposed to be about us pursuing our calling on daily basis. That's what the whole essence of life is supposed to be. We are supposed to be getting joy and satisfaction just by waking up in the morning and going to do what we love, going to pursue what we desire, going to really do and pursue and work hard on our land, that we know that this is our land and this is what God has called us to do. That is what our calling is supposed to be about. But when we just go to get a job and just then we are just going to survive, and then we are giving just little enough just for us to keep on coming back, and then that means that we become slaves. We become slave to the world system. We become slave to the world economic system. So the world system, the system of this world, enslaves us. And how does it enslave us? Enslaves us by salary. That we know that if we don't get that salary, we will not survive. If you don't get that little salary, we will not make a living. And so it enslaves us by saying, okay, you need to pay your bills, you need to pay your expenses, and because you need to pay your expenses, and if you don't pay expenses, you will be lost and you will not be able to make a living. So that whole pressure of the world system, puts us in a corner, and we're in that corner. We don't have any option, and we even forget about our calling now. We forget about our purpose. We forget about the things that we were created for, and we begin to now live for the mundane things of life. And before we realize it, we have gotten old. Before we realize it, we are too old to turn to reverse and restore our lost lives anymore. And then you are dreaming that your children will be better than you. But they are not better than you because they're also looking for jobs. Because you didn't know better and you couldn't teach them better. So now they also, they send you on pension to go and die and put your children in your place. And your children keep on continuing the kind of lifestyle that you live. But real life is supposed to be about everybody discovering what God created them for. Why God sent them to this world. Everybody was sent to this world for a purpose. Everybody was packaged in heaven to come and resolve one problem of the other on the earth. And because of that, you were sent here on a mission. So you need to discover that mission. And that mission, you don't need to look for it through some prophets or some pastors or some people. You just need to look inward. I spoke about it in the morning, how to discover your calling. And I'm talking about that again now. Anything that motivates you more than money does is your calling. So if you have discovered that thing in you that is motivating you, that you will rather love doing, even if you will never be paid money for it, but you would rather do it with joy, you will spend hours doing it, you would like to dedicate your life doing it, that is your calling. Anything that you love to do, without even being compensated for it, not even thinking about the money, anything that you would like to do from your whole heart, your calling is buried inside of you. Your calling is inside your system. God built you to correspond to that your calling. God puts a corresponding gift, corresponding abilities, corresponding skills, corresponding incentives, corresponding temperaments, corresponding abilities and sentiments in you. So those corresponding sentiments, they are supposed to be corresponding to the goal that you are supposed to fulfill on earth. So you are built actually for that, the purpose of that goal. You are specially built by God for that purpose. You are specially created in such a way that you'll be able to fulfill that particular destiny that God has for you on the earth. So for everybody that is created from God, God has actually created you after He had decided the destiny that He had for you. So God starts, first of all, by giving you a destiny, by giving you a goal and purpose before you are even created. So after determining the goal and purpose that He has for you, then He goes ahead to create you and package you in a way that you will be able to be fit, just fit enough to be able to do that assignment that He has created you for. So He first of all determines your assignment, and what gives Him the motivation. Where does He find the assignment from? He creates everybody and sends everybody to the earth as a response to some cry, to some needs, to some prayers, to some requests on earth. So He sees a need in the next 100 years, or He sees a need in the next 200 years that needs to be met on earth. Then He causes your father and mother to meet, and then causes you to come to the earth and to survive all kind of struggles and everything, so that you will be able to be packaged. You are already packaged from heaven, so that you will be released on the earth to do that particular assignment, to come and resolve that particular situation and that particular challenge. But when we come to the earth, we are caught up with the mundane things of the world, especially women. They begin to tell you that you need to get married. They begin to tell you that you must become a mother. They begin to tell you that, you must become a housewife. They begin to tell you must learn how to cook. They begin to tell you, don't you know you're a woman? They begin to, all kind of stories begin to come up, and you just lose purpose. You don't even know. You will even begin to think that being a woman is your purpose. You will be thinking that just giving birth is your purpose. I mean, if that is a purpose, then it's better to get some dogs and some cats in the house. They give birth. Oh, my friend. They give birth better than any woman. No woman can compete with a cat. I mean, what a woman does in a lifetime, that cat can do it at a goal. So no. Everybody is packaged for a purpose. Everybody is created for something specific on the earth. And somebody said, okay, since I'm a woman, I cannot have a purpose. I can only my purpose is just to support my husband. That is so crazy. That is so silly. You support your husband in domestic work, but you are more than domestic animal. You are more than domestic worker. You apart from domestic responsibility where you support your husband, you have a calling. You are a human being, my friend. You are created for something. But one of the ways for you to discover what you are created for is to look inside. And when you look inside, you need to say, okay, what is it that really motivates me? What is it that motivates me stronger than money? Is there anything in this world that motivates me stronger than money? Sometimes we cannot find it easily. Sometimes we have become so numb. We have become so numb by the pressures of this world. We have become so numb by the, upbringing that we have. We've become so numb to spiritual things, I'm saying, to even spiritually seeing and, and perceiving what we really love to do. We have become so numb by the need and the pressure to always go and work, always looking for something that will make us money. We become so numb to hearing, and seeing in the spirit, and even hearing our own spirit. But there is something, if you look inside yourself properly, if you look inside yourself enough, you'll be able to discover that, yes, God has created you for something really. There is no human being that God sends to this world without creating them for something. He has created you to do something much more greater than just getting a salary. Getting a salary is not your purpose. Whatever you do, you need to fulfill your purpose. In the process of fulfilling your purpose, you are compensated by a salary. You are compensated with a salary. But the salary is not your purpose. The fulfillment of the destiny, the passion in you, the zeal in you, the divine inclination in you, the fulfillment of that inclination, the fulfillment of that passion is what, now produces a compensation that we call money or salary. But we don't go after the money. We don't put the money first. We put that, inner, passion first. We put that inner inclination first. We put that our love first. The love that is in your heart for something. The inner craving. That inner craving should be greater, much more greater thing that will follow. You should follow that craving no matter what. So that craving should be stronger than your desire just to make a living. The desire to fulfill that craving and to be the best in that craving is what should be pushing you to do what you are doing. It's what should be leading you to work where you are working. Your work should be tilling your own ground. That's what God told Adam and Eve when he took them to the Garden of Eden. He told them to till their ground. They had their territory. Everybody have their own territory. You need to discover that is your own land of promise. That is your own land that you need to till. So you need to, cultivate your own ground. You need to cultivate your own earth. You need to bring the kingdom of God to your own territory, to your own land, to your own earth. So everybody's got his own land that he needs to till, cultivate, develop, and keep as well for God. So it is in you. And some people think that, you need to go to school so that you get a good job. No. The purpose of going to school is not to get a good job. School is supposed to be something we do. Education is supposed to be something we do after we have discovered who we are, after we have discovered our inclination, after we have discovered our passion, our inner calling, after you know who you are supposed to be. Then you go to get education to be better, to better understand that area or that sphere of life that God is calling you to do, and to be able to know more specifics and to be able to know more details of that area, so that you will be able to know in more concrete terms which particular aspect of that calling that you are supposed to address really. Like I said in the morning, is so that you know, if you know that you like working with engineering stuff, then you need to go and get education so that you know the depth of engineering, you know what form of all kind of engineering that exists, and what particular aspect of it that you want to specialize in. So education is supposed to complement your calling. As education is supposed to add to what you already have. Education is supposed to help you understand better what's already in you. Education is supposed to help develop what is already in you. Education is supposed to help you to become skillful in dealing and developing the thing that God has already put in you. Education is supposed to make you to be capable, to be skillful enough, to be able to use the thing, the invisible gift, and be able to turn it into physical product. That's what education is doing. It's supposed to do for you. Education is supposed to cause you to make your invisible self become visible. Your invisible gift to become, a visible, tangible thing for which you could be rewarded. But education is only complementary. It's only complementary to the whatever calling that God has given to you. So again, the topic of today is What is it that motivates you more than money? What is it that motivates you more than money? And I know one of the questions that I would like to answer one of these days before this series finishes is that people are saying, okay, a lot of people know their calling. You could know your calling, but you are afraid of facing it because you think it will not give you money. And a lot of people are like that. They know that, okay, even though I'm called to do this, to do A, but I'm actually going to do B. Why are you going to do B? Because there is money in B, but even though I know my calling is in A. So people most of the time don't know how to convert their A into money. So they actually abandon their money, their destiny, their calling in pursuit of, just survival, in the need to survive for today. So the need of today's survival sometimes pushes us to compromise. We compromise our calling, and that means you compromise our joy. We compromise our fulfillment. We compromise our destiny. And more importantly, we compromise our reward in heaven, because God is going to reward you when you fulfill what He created you to do, when you pursue and do exactly what He sent you to the world to do. That is when you are, putting your treasure in heaven. You are gathering your treasure in heaven by pleasing Him, by fulfilling what He asked you to do. It will make God's heart happy much more than when you are just living on your own and doing whatever you need to do just to make a living. That's more like egocentrism and selfish living rather than, a sacrificial living that causes you to actually make the heart of God happy. So, but, also, it's also as a result of lack of skills and lack of knowledge. So by the time we get to the end of how to discover what your calling is, once I help you to discover what your calling is, then I will go ahead to tell you how to convert anything you have, any calling you have, any gift you have. I would later tell you how to convert those gifts to money. So don't be afraid that your calling might not have money in it. But any call has money in it. Any gift has money in it. And any land, just like any land, if you have a land of promise, there is milk and honey in that land of promise. So every land of promise has milk and honey, but it's not flowing like that, so that you don't see it with physical eyes flowing. You need to do some things. You need to know what to do to be able to bring out the milk and the honey in your promised land. So it's going to be one of the topics that I will treat before we finish this topic. But the idea that I'm trying to communicate to you today is whatever you can do, and give yourself to sacrificially, totally, that talks about where your gift is. You remember the situation with Jesus when they came when Jesus with the Samaritan woman at the well. They came to him and they were saying, "Hey, Master, you've not gone to eat. You've not gone to eat. I mean, we have gone to eat, and we thought you were going to catch up with us, but you didn't come. And we have come back, and you are still here. What are you doing with this woman? I mean, we don't see any interest in her. I mean, she's even not a Jewish woman. She's a Samaritan woman. They think she's like nothing. I don't want to use that word, but they think like Jesus shouldn't even be sitting near her. But especially, knowing the biography of that woman. But and Jesus told them something. I have a food that you are not aware of. I have a food. So this is the kind of thing I'm saying. He found his passion. Something that will make him to forget about food. Something that will make him to forget about reward, any other reward, gratification. So it is coming from inside. Something that you are so given to. Something that you are driven to do. So much driven that you neglect some other rewards. So much driven that you forget about instant gratification. So much driven that you lose control of immediate pleasure or immediate sense of pleasure. You are so much driven by that you are inward focus rather than outward focus. You know that there is such a burden in your heart that burden is much more real than the pressure that is coming. The pressure to make a living, the pressure to just make money, the pressure to build a house, but the pressure to want to conform, the pressure to want to be like other people. There is this inner satisfaction that is calling, that is deeper than the things that people are flaunting and around you. So when you discover that thing inside of you, and that thing is inside everybody has that burden. Maybe it is making people happy. Maybe it is teaching people to be wealthy and rich. Maybe it is helping poor people to, not to. Maybe you cannot stand poverty. Maybe you cannot stand, barrenness. Maybe you cannot stand, women suffering. Maybe you cannot stand, maybe the corruption in your country. Maybe you cannot stand, mismanagement. Maybe you cannot stand people going to hell. Maybe, just what it is that is such a burden from your heart that you are so concerned about that you will rather bury your head in it. You will rather make it consume you. Maybe you are passionate about developing other people, raising leaders, maybe helping people, maybe giving advice. What is it that really could engage you, obsess you, that it becomes almost like an obsession to you? That thing that will make you to not to think about money. If they are going to pay you for it, they are not going to pay you for it. You are just excited doing it. It's just a thing of satisfaction, something that you like to go back to over and over again and remember, and how much joy is giving you by doing it. That thing is your calling. That thing is your calling. So anything that excites you, anything that motivates you more than the desire to make money, more than the desire to survive, more than the desire to just be like everybody else, that thing is your calling. Yeah, that thing is your calling. So unfortunately, just like, there are so many examples like that. So I had so many examples like that. If you look at people like David was in the field all the time. He was shepherding the sheep of his father. Even though, his brothers didn't want to do that, they were running away from it. And he was not being rewarded for it. He was not being paid for it. But he was always grieving because that God knew that he was going to shepherd the nation one day. You see, so that desire, the passion. I mean, look at Moses. He had all the wealth already. He was in the Pharaoh's palace. But he was ready to forfeit the wealth and the comfort just by risking everything. He risked everything to deliver a child of Israel, a son of Israel, because that desire to be a deliverer was in him. That was what was in him. That is the drive that will make him to risk losing everything. That is the thing that is more important than money for him. Just like the going to the field was more important for David than playing with the other kids in the street and just messing up, or with the brother and running away from the field and being with the sheep. So that thing that is really consuming your heart inside, that you would rather do, if you will just not have to think about surviving, if you just you don't have to think about making a living, if money were not to be an issue, what is that thing that you would have liked to bury your head into? I mean, not laziness. I'm not talking about laziness that you just want somebody to give you money while you do nothing. No, I'm talking about a drive inside, a passion inside, a zeal inside, an obsession inside. What is it that but if you will be quiet and be alone with yourself and ask yourself a question and look inside yourself and query yourself and interrogate yourself and be truthful with yourself and search in your heart for that thing that is more important, in your life, that will consume you more than money, that will motivate you more than money, that will excite you more than money, then you will find it. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. So that's how you find your calling. That is number 2. This is number 2 of how to, this new calling. I have a book. I have a whole book on this. So, and the book is there on this platform. We already gave you the link. You find a link, in the comment section. In the comment section here, you can go to Amazon or Okada for those in Nigeria or Africa. You can go to Amazon if you are in the West. So go look for that book. It's on Facebook as well. It's Who Am I? It's called Who Am I? Why Am I Here? So that is the question. That is the book. And that talks about, that is much more detailed over there. That will give you much more detailed explanation and help on how to discover. Not just how you can discover your calling, but how you could help other people around you discover their calling and their purpose in life. Well. So this is number 2 of those secrets on how to discover who you are. I hope it has helped anybody. Let me ask you if you can tell me if this has been helpful to you. Please, will you write what you are thinking? If you are there in the morning, even if you are not there in the morning, this particular message, do you think it has been helpful? Write me what you think. Has this been helpful to you? Let me hear from you. Let me hear of your opinion about this teaching. Our time is almost coming to an end, so I want to also ask all of you to go and share the link. So, especially if you have not shared this link yet, if you have not shared the link, go to your share button, go to your timeline right now, and share the link, share the message, and then also write what you think. What have you learned, and what do you think this message has given you today? I would like to hear from you. I would like to know if it's worth it or it's not worth it. I don't want to do something that is not going to be helpful to you. So get back to me. Let me see what you are getting from this teaching today. Okay. Let me go back to what people have written earlier. Okay. Here is Yetunde Awolesi. Say, whatever you have the passion and zeal for without checking the time or getting bored is your calling. It is inbuilt. Yes. Dimitri Pristev, the Brevisha Pastor Sunday, the Privé Daragoy. Oluwatoyin, he said, more grace, sir. You inspire me daily. Thank you. Ufuoma Anigoro said, doing what satisfies the deepest hunger or yearning of your heart will give you more satisfaction in life, even if you are not paid for it. Yes. John Dakoro says, if money were not the issue, I would not be doing what I'm doing presently. Lord help me. Yeah, that's what I mean. Ikeshuku Nwadeashi says, if you had no need for money, what would you rather do? This is a clue to your calling by Pastor and Purpose, Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Yes. Elizabeth Ali, even me, I can't believe it. I've got so many notes down to check later. More grace, sir. Thank God. Thank God is helping you. Charles Smith say, Pastor Sunday, you are wearing me out by your constant teaching, but thank you. Fleur says, I love Pastor. Okay. All right. Jonathan West says, we think alike, Pastor. You make me feel better. What makes me happy is bringing people to feel this joy it brings. Wow, that's great. Elizabeth Ali says, you are grooming us to be like you. Yes, yes. That's the idea. You got it. Taiwo Abo Abba says, sir, I would rather go to mission field and support people with needs. But you are not doing it, right? You see? Thank God that you have already discovered at least what you are supposed to do. But later on, I will tell you how anything that you are called to do will give you money and you'll be able to survive on it, okay? Yetunde Awolesi said, oh, yes, I was going to say that, Pastor, about the way you laugh. Oh, that's about my laughter, sorry. Ikeshuku said, work enables us to express potential. Yes. Joseph said, work expresses the glory in us. Yes. Joseph Olaiya said, work gives us the opportunity to become a co-creator with God on this earth. That's so true. Yetunde said, work is one of the greatest inventions of God to man. Yes, that's from Pastor Sunday. Discovery comes by work. That's Olaya Joseph. Basil Osezele said, what you have an unlimited passion for is your calling. Even when you are tired or hungry, you are still there. Even your customers feel it in your eyes. You find yourself feeling pride with the job. Sometimes you do it in your dream too. John Daokoro said, who told me to tune in today? Shy, Lord, I have derailed. I have to find my way back to my calling. Oju Olakwe Martin said, preach it, Pastor. I love this. Yetunde said, this is so deep, such a deep revelation. Tosin said, awesome message, more grace, sir. Joseph says, walking by revelation, capture your totality without stress. Basil says, daily preaching, daily talking is not an easy job, sir. God bless your household for the eternity in Jesus' name. Shinyere Oji said, this is good word of wisdom. John says, yes, sir, it has always been there. I derailed because of money. I repent. I must get back to my place of calling. That's a sincere man. That's a sincere man. Thank God for you. Olawunmi Bukola said, I love you, sir. Thank you. Mike Bradford said, appreciate, man of God. Galina said, at first was my calling, and then I'm created by God for other things. Emmanuel Okoji says, every day I go to work, I feel I'm ensnaring myself the more, as this survival salary thing is a trap. That's so true. Paul says this is a timely teaching for African believers, and I think not only. Joseph Olaya said, I discovered in the Bible that work comes first before worship. Yeah. Andre Imolore said, where or how can I get this message so I can replay it in my church? This message is going to be on my Facebook, on this same Facebook here. Go to the video section, it's going to be there. But apart from that, it's going to be on my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, and on my YouTube page, Sunday Adelaja. Frozen. Okay, with a special assignment which will